Well, good to see y'all again. I sitting here at loss for words all of a sudden. Hadn't been on in here in a while, but we got a lot of forest fires in the area in western Montana. 23, 24 fires going. Really not good. My buddy Dan's been posting on Facebook how tree huggers, stopping all the timber sales and all that. I posted one on there. It's just a shame that we can't use our timber and then it builds up and we have catastrophic fires, but that's the people in the Forest Service and the federal government. They have two agencies that will reimburse these people for their lawyer fees and court costs if they win their case to stop a timber sale. So anyway, that's all. Everybody here knows that. That's sad, but hopefully we get that fixed. Get Trump getting things straightened out, support our great President Trump, and things will move on down the road. But these forest fires are serious stuff. We've had 2 men killed here in western Montana on these forest fires, been hit by falling trees. This stuff isn't funny. So, our prayers and condolences go out to their families, and it's really a bad thing. Things have changed. We got to evacuate. So I said, oh my gosh, well, maybe I can come out there and help you. I can, fill up my station wagon with stuff or whatever, even though it's got ice chests and camping beds and cook stoves and everything already in it. I can pile some stuff on top of that. So anyway, I go out there with him and we get out there, and well, first we stopped at the big fire information deal in Lolo. We're in western Montana again. Found out that he's at stage 1 where they need to be ready to bug out. They need to be prepared to evacuate. So we go out there, and I saw a deputy sheriff putting, lime green, fluorescent green stickers on people's gates and stuff out in the country. And we get there, and me and Hillbilly number 1 start loading stuff we're going to get out of his workshop, and he's got all the water sprinklers going all around his big house. They're on 4 acres. He got some pine trees fairly close to the house. His shop had a lot of brown grass around it and all this and that. So he's unloading the excavator, getting it going. He's going to clear the grass and stuff like that away from his big metal wall building shop. And also, Hillbilly number 2 shows up with his 2 boys. They're going to help load stuff and get stuff out of the shop. So we're all, trying to get this thing fireproofed. And Hillbilly number 1 gets that excavator out, and he pulls this big old explosives magazine out of the grass, out of the tall grass, about a 4-foot cube. Fluorescent orange. We put straps on it and hauled it out and set it on the driveway, and big old white letters on the front of it, explosives. So he wasn't using it at the time, but we started using it right then, and next thing you know, we're filling it up with gunpowder and all kind of things. People here in western Montana have guns and reloading equipment and things like that. So they're putting all this stuff in there, and I'm in the shop going through, some ammo boxes and sorting, ammo that we can take. Hillbilly number 2 is going to take all this ammo and stuff and, take it to his house. He's further down the valley, not as in much danger as Hillbilly number 1. So anyway, Hillbilly number 2 brought his 2 boys, Gunner and Steyer, and all of a sudden my help dried up. I looked around like, what's going on? And so we've set this big old 4-foot cube explosives magazine out there. It's a powder magazine, and cleaned it out and opened the door, and they're filling it up with real gunpowder. And you still got the strap and the excavator hooked to it, and it's facing the driveway. And Steyer comes back in. I says, where'd everybody go, man? He says, we're out there talking to the popo. I said, what? what are you talking about? He says, we're out there talking to the deputy sheriff. I said, oh, bull, you are not. So I go out there with him. Sure enough, everybody's gathered around this real nice deputy sheriff that had driven up the driveway to the shop. And I looked at the powder magazine. I looked at the deputy sheriff's car, his big SUV, and he was a real nice guy. I could tell he was right there, not far off, and I could tell from his angle that he can read that big old explosive sign on the front of it. And Hillbilly number 1 and Hillbilly number 2 are talking to him and their kids, and I got down there. I said, hey man, how's it going? And he said, oh, it's going good, and he says, I'm sorry, but y'all need to be ready to go. He says, but it looks like y'all have a handle on things. He sees this big old fluorescent orange 4-foot cube steel box that says explosives, and this excavator Caterpillar has the strap up to it. And we said, yeah, okay. And he's a real nice guy, and we thanked him for all the work they do, because they got a tough, thankless job. And anyway, I don't know, I just thought it was funny because he can read this thing, and he said, look like y'all got a handle on everything. So anyway, we went back to loading stuff and digging around the building. John did with his excavator, got it all cleared out and things cleaned, cleaned the brush, not so much brush, but grass. So anyway, we got that going till late in the evening, but it was kind of funny. I got just some hodgepodge of stories here I wanted to throw in here. I mentioned Steyer, his family, Hillbilly number 2's family, they're so good to me. They get me stuff at, what's the name of it? I can't read and talk at the same time. Costco. So they'd gotten me some Costco socks, and then they also give me farm fresh eggs. And so I talked to Steyer's mom this morning at church, and she said, I got your socks. They're in there on the bench. I said, okay, I appreciate it. And real nice merino wool socks. You can get them at Costco. And then Steyer's telling me, you got eggs in the fridge. I said, oh, okay, good. So in the meantime, between blocks or between periods at church, I went in there and got a plastic bag for my socks, and I put the eggs in it and put it back in the fridge. And it was a clear plastic bag. So after church, Steyer and Gunner come up and say, hey, why come you got your socks in the refrigerator? And so I told them, I said it seemed like a good idea at the time. So Steyer's giving me a hard time, teasing me. And Steyer says, I put my blanket in the freezer on hot nights. I said, what? That's a brilliant idea, man. Why didn't I think of that? And I said, Gunner, you ever see your little brother putting his blanket in the freezer and think he's losing it? And Gunner said, no. But I've opened the freezer before and pulled out the drawer, and there's Steyer's blanket. And I asked him, how come your blanket's in the freezer? And he told me, he says, it'll be cool for quite a while when I go to bed. And Steyer says, sometimes I put my pillow in the refrigerator too to get it nice and cool before I go to bed. So anyway, we're standing there near the sanctuary in the hallway at church, and there's a few people still around. A lot of people are leaving, and so these two boys, I mean, I love them. They're great kids, and they're walking down the hall. I said, man, it's sure good to see y'all. And Steyer, he's 12. He says, well, I don't know how good it is to see you, but we sure saw you. And I said, come here. And I started acting like I was going to chase him down the hall, and some lady behind me to the right just started howling. She was laughing so hard. So anyway, Gunner grabbed him and said, I'll hold him. I said, no, I can't tickle him or hit him or anything, because he'll hit me back so much harder or tickle me worse. And so I told him what that lady busted out laughing because she heard what he told me, and we had a good laugh over that. But one more thing I wanted to throw in here. I was telling these Pampaw stories earlier, and I got a photo of looks like the original pier from Pat, and I appreciate that so much. The pier down at Port Mansfield, and it looks like Uncle Charlie stepping into the boat that's tied right to the front of the pier. I say it looks like the original pier because I told in my other stories how they built 3 of them eventually, because Hurricane Carla blew one away and Hurricane Beulah blew another one away, and they just had to keep rebuilding it. But on those fishing adventures, I mentioned we would fire up the big gasoline generator at sunset and shine the 4 big seal beam headlights out into the deep intercoastal canal right in front of the pier in that deep water, and the shrimp had come to the lights, and then the speckled trout had come to the shrimp. And we always left somebody up. If they didn't start hitting right away, we'd go in there and go to bed, because you just couldn't get enough sleep. You're fishing 24 hours a day if you could. So when they weren't there yet, somebody'd stay up and watch for them, and the rest of us would go to bed. So one night they weren't coming, the shrimp weren't jumping, and so everybody went to bed, me and Pampaw, and we left Marshall out there as the scout. So Marshall's out there, watching for the shrimp and everything, and I'm laying there on one of those bunks with that ocean breeze blowing through there, laying on clean sheets, and big old huge 4x8 window screened in, and the breeze, and I'm just sleeping away, and I wake up and I hear this sounds like fish flopping on the deck, flopping on the pier. And I thought, what's going on? It can't be. And I look right out my window, and there's the lights and the intercoastal, and there's Marshall out there fishing, and he's got 12 or 13 speckled trout flopping on the pier. They're just flopping around everywhere. He's not even taking time to throw them in the big fish box that's hanging over the side, big screened-in mesh fish box. He's just catching as many as he can. And we were always, in a competition to see who could catch the most fish. And I yelled, "Marshall, you dog! Papa, everybody get up, get up!" And so I ran out there. I said, "Hayes, what are you doing, man? You're supposed to wake us up." And he says, "Oh, Curry, I had to make sure that they were really in here. I didn't want to wake you up. It was just a small school went by." Papa chewed him out, and we were all like, "God, can't believe you let us sleep." And so he already had 12 or 13 fish for the night. And so when you let Marshall be the scout, you got to be ready. You got to be ready, because he might, catch a few before he wakes you up. So anyway, we had some great times down there, and life is good. Just pray that the forest fires will get put out. I'm afraid some of them might not get it put out until the snow flies in the fall. A lot of times these forest fires up here just keep going until the snow actually comes and puts them out. So hope everybody stays safe. Thanks. I'll talk to you later. Adios.